what will be the one tip that you give yourself maybe a couple of years back when you started this whole journey of learning how to draw and everything?
As a kid, I remember avoiding art classes. For the longest time, I thought I have no creativity whatsoever. And I did that thing that you do as a kid sometimes where I'm like, well, I'm good at this. And so by extension, I'm bad at this. And I tell my kids that the more you say things like that, it becomes the self-fulfilled prophecy, right? So you say you're bad at something, so then you don't try it. You avoid it. And then if you do not try it, then chances are you're not going to ever grow that skill set. So I think we talk a lot about growth mindset in academics now. That is what I would say to myself, that just because you can't do something yet, you can. It's just that sometimes things take more time and will be harder, but that doesn't mean that it's not doable. Don't get so hung up on being perfect. Have a good time.
So hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Secrets of the Viz. Today I have Jordan with me, who's going to talk about a very interesting viz called Stepping On Up with my best friend, which is her journey with her husband on how they actually stepped up their health and put in a lot more steps and tracking that whole journey. So over to you, Jordan, to give us a little intro about yourself.
Sure. It occurs to me that I need to thank you for this opportunity. I don't think I've said that to you yet. I was telling my daughters that I was going to do this and they were very impressed. So you have made me a minor celebrity in my home and I thank you for that. I have preteens, so anything that I can do to impress them, big deal. I am Jordan Bullington-Miller. I have worked in higher ed for 14 years at the same university. We are a very large public university in North Carolina. It's also my alma mater, so very near and dear to my heart. And I've done lots of different things. I find myself in a researcher role now. And 3 years ago, when I stepped into this role, that was the first time that I got to really play around in Tableau. And so now I get to build dashboards professionally. I feel very lucky to be able to do that. But anybody that builds dashboards professionally, there's some constraints, right? We've got some creative constraints is what I would call it. So there's only so many colors that I can use, so many fonts. The chart types from project to project tend to be very similar. So in the last 6 months, really got into Tableau Public as a place to play. It's my creative sandbox. It's where I get inspired and it's where I'm really flexing this muscle and trying to learn.
That's awesome. Earlier on, we were talking about one of your vizzes, which is Trending Hearts America Top 25 Romance Authors. The portraits that you did for all the authors are all hand-drawn by you. So that's really amazing. You said that you don't have any formal training on that. How do you start picking up this skill?
I'm not trained at all. Oh my gosh. But thank you for that. You know, it's around the time that I had kids. So they would have a coloring book and I would color with them. And then next to them, I would start sketching. So over time, I started watching YouTube videos. I have learned from watching and reading and asking people, how do you do that? It is just something that I work at on the side, that I'm tweaking constantly. I have many friends who are trained, who do incredible work, and I will take a look at what they're doing and ask them to show me what they're doing. And so I still feel very much amateur level because I'm not formally trained. But I think the cool thing about Tableau is that I get to use both skills, right? I get to use that more technical side of my brain, but I also get to bring the creative in, and that's what I hope makes it more compelling. I think it's fun. And that's why I continue to try to get better.
What will be the one tip that you give yourself maybe a couple of years back when you started this whole journey of learning how to draw and everything?
As a kid, I remember avoiding art classes. For the longest time, I thought I have no creativity whatsoever. And I did that thing that you do as a kid sometimes where I'm like, well, I'm good at this. And so by extension, I'm bad at this. And I tell my kids that the more you say things like that, it becomes the self-fulfilled prophecy, right? So you say you're bad at something, so then you don't try it. You avoid it. And then if you do not try it, then chances are you're not going to ever grow that skill set. So I think we talk a lot about growth mindset in academics now. That is what I would say to myself, that just because you can't do something yet, you can. It's just that sometimes things take more time and will be harder, but that doesn't mean that it's not doable. Don't get so hung up on being perfect. Have a good time.
I resonate so much with that because also I have two kids of my own. So getting them to try something new is difficult because they are afraid to take that first leap. So just shifting gears a little bit, how did the inspiration come about doing that viz on Stepping On Up with my best friend?
So I'm laughing only because I have a process, right? I usually have an idea and then go out, I see what data's out there, what's the story, and then the story dictates design and chart types. And in this one, it is the total reverse of that. I wanted to create a calendar heat map. I had never made one before. I love the way they look. I had studied different examples on Tableau Public, and I love that you can download workbooks and attempt to reverse engineer them. And I just wanted to make a calendar heat map. So chart type was the origin. And then the question is, well, what data? And I certainly could go out and find, there's a ton of really cool data out there that really lends itself well to this particular chart type. But at the same time, I had this very personal project that I'm working on with my husband. You know, we always have New Year's resolutions, but they're never the same because we're different people and we have different goals. But this year we had the same exact goal, and we were so excited when we realized it. Every day, all of 2025, we wanted to get 10,000 steps tracked, ideally more, but 10,000 was the minimum. And so January 1, it was a beautiful day and we were not at work. We put on our tennis shoes and we went for a walk. And this is so great to decompress and catch up. You know, when you have kids, your life is about your kids. And so it was really great to have the shared time with him. And then every day we are updating each other. We keep a Google spreadsheet where we're tracking our steps. And so I thought, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to visualize our progress. I made the decision early on that I wouldn't build the whole thing, that I would do it month by month so that we could, at the end of the month, have almost this tradition of we can see what it looks like. We can track that progress. So it was just this very cool personal goal that I get to do with the person who I love more than anything in the world.
That's really beautiful. What was the most challenging part in creating this viz?
Yeah, I hope I'm not the only one that struggles with this. Spacing. Thank God for the wireframe techniques and getting to map it out, especially because I was going to build out this one over time, trying to figure out the right size and the spacing. I've got different size monitors, looking at it on my phone versus his phone, making sure that it's accessible across different devices. Spacing is always the hardest part for me. I must publish and tweak over and over and over again, hundreds of times.
That's the perfectionist in you
It is.
blooming up.
You are
But
right.
I totally get that. There's no playbook for that. And it's always about trial and error. Like if you shift a couple of pixels to the left, does it look right? You move a couple of steps back, it's like, okay, the text looks great now. And then you move further in, it's like, maybe not. We'll shift it left a little bit more. And it just goes on and on and on.
I'm so happy to hear you say that, because sometimes I'm thinking, is it just me? I was teaching Tableau to a colleague and he said, why does it look different in desktop?
There is also some nuances between desktop and public in terms of the spacing. For floating objects, it usually gets pushed up a little bit more than what it seems like on desktop.
Yeah,
It
thank you for
happens.
normalizing this for me.
So you're saying that early on, like Tableau Public is kind of like your sandbox of quirky data stories. Where do you get your ideas from?
Yeah, so if you look at my portfolio, you'll see that there's a lot of very personal projects. I've created vizzes for my family vacations. We have a couple for my kids' summer reading goals. I think I have trained them at this point to look for data. They would tell you that data is everywhere because that is the lesson that they have heard from me. Right before I hopped on this call with you, my daughter Quinn said, I think we should make a dashboard about the Titanic. And I said, let's go see if someone else has already done it. And there's so many amazing dashboards. We got lost looking at an incredible one with amazing animation. A lot of my projects are things that are important to me, which may resonate, may not. But I think when you can viz about things that mean a lot to you, I think it's just so much more fun to do. So a lot of it comes from my circle, what I see and think every day and the people around me.
Well, but that's basically how data story evolves, right? Like
Yeah.
you're always trying to tell stories from your own experiences. It's also similar. For me, I've viz a lot about video games because I love video games and I'm from the industry. So I think visiting what you love definitely brings in that whole experience and story for others to follow. Is there any favorite vizzes that you've built so far?
The first one that comes to mind, I'm constantly encouraging my colleagues to look for data in unusual places. Reddit is where our students are talking to each other, and the feedback I get is Reddit is bad. Reddit is so negative. People are afraid of Reddit. And so I went out on this mission to find positive data. So there is a dashboard. It's called I Love My Alma Mater. And I found over 300 pieces of really positive feedback about the university from students, faculty, staff, alum, people in the community. And I built our logo out of these little pixelated logos. It is full of just positivity. And it's that resetting of no, Reddit can be a really positive place. There was so much love and support. Students would ask a question and there would be so much kindness in that space. And to refocus that lens was really cool. So that's the first one that comes to mind for me.
That's really inspiring. There are different ways that you can influence people using data stories. One of it is educate, like there's something that you want to tell people about. And I love that you seeked out all the positive reviews on your Maker in Reddit, because Reddit has that obnoxious reputation among everyone. And for you to reorientate people's mindsets about the university, I think that's really beautiful. I would have never thought of doing that. This is really amazing.
Thank you. It was fun to do, and my institution really appreciated it and shared it out across the university, which was really cool.
Nice. I have a graveyard of ideas that I go back every now and then just to see if there's anything I can repick from it.
Yeah. Have you been able to resurrect something?
Yes. So funny story. The K-pop Demon Hunters was something that I threw away after putting it in the graveyard because I couldn't find the data to prove that they were as popular as they were. There's this YouTube series that's run by Heather, Kimberly, and Steve, which is called Unfinished Business. Very cool name. And what they do is that they talk to authors and try to get them off where they were stuck on a Viz idea. I spoke to them and they oriented me to different angles, and then I decided to go down the route of analyzing the song differences between K-pop Demon Hunters and real life K-pop groups. So it was supposed to be just left in the dust and all, but I'm glad that I revisited it.
Yeah, me too, as are my daughters. I have to tell you, your K-pop Demon Hunters viz has made my daughters week. When I showed it to them, they're so excited. And then they wanted to know why I didn't come up with the idea. And I was like, I know. I'm sorry.
I love it. Every weekend we watch it like maybe once or twice.
Yes.
But the songs are like on repeat every single day.
Yeah, in the car, constant. It's very good though. I'm here for it.
It is very good. I was looking at the trends and it is the highest streamed Netflix movie of all time.
That's amazing.
Because when I was doing the Viz, I couldn't find data points to prove that Demon Hunters was as popular as it was, seeing where it was everywhere. But now the data shows, so I'm really happy for it.
Yeah, it's unsurprising to me, but they did really appreciated it.
Thank you so much for that. I'm so happy that someone loved it as well, because I think there's a lot of folks who love K-pop Demon Hunters. The themes that are explored in the movies aren't really kids friendly kind. Like it deals with a lot of things like self-acceptance, shame, and all that. So I think that's probably why it resonated with adults as well, I guess.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with what's out there for kids these days. So much better than what was available for me growing up. So I'm so happy that Netflix has given us this gem.
I think it was a license owned by Sony back during the COVID days, and they didn't believe in this film. So they actually sold it to Netflix. Bad decision.
Yeah. I'm sure they will really just massively regret that decision. Wild. Well, good for Netflix, I guess.
Very good for Netflix. Yeah. Before we end, is there anything that you want to shout out or any projects that you're currently thinking about?
Yeah, I've been working on for months. I am so close. Like, I'm in the design phase now. It's around the show Gilmore Girls, if you're familiar. A bit of a cult classic, but meant a lot to me as a kid. I was a very bookish teen, and the show is about a very unconventional mother-daughter relationship. But when I was a teenager watching it, all I thought about was, here is this girl on TV who is an academic, who carries a book everywhere she goes, who dreams of the Ivy League. And it was very much, I felt very seen. I'm not an Ivy Leaguer, but I did carry a book everywhere I went. And so it just meant a lot to me. And now I'm rewatching it with my kids. The whole viz is around the pop culture references that the show is known for. There's over 1,500 pop culture references in the show. And I have built them into a gazebo that's a fixture in the show. But it's taken me months because it's hard to get that data. I'm pulling a lot of it from the Gilmore Girls wiki fandom page, but then I'm also having to just double check it and also do some research because I don't even understand all of the references. And that is where I am.
That's exciting. I'm really looking forward to see that. Thank you again, Jordan, for spending time with us today to walk through your viz, your process, and how you get your inspiration and all. I hope everyone learned something from this and get inspired.
Thank you so much. This was great.